Okay, so for the switcheroo assignment, it's pretty basic. What we're doing is we're combining two images together and we're using a layer mask to reveal certain elements. The fun thing about this is you can take people you know, friends or family members, mom and dad, brother and sister, and combine their faces to see what they would look like together. So I've got a number of images open here. I'm going to take this one and this one. We're going to combine them together. The images come from 123rf.com, and all you have to do is click and drag one image onto the other file, and as you can see, there we go. Now, what I tend to do when I'm working with this sort of thing is I line up certain facial features, namely the eyes. They're a good way of getting a close size to work. So what I mean by that is if your eyes are lined up, then chances are the proportions should work in theory. So I'm going to turn down the opacity of layer 1 here. And if you haven't figured this out already, you can use the keyboard shortcut, which is the numbers. So if I hit 3 on my keyboard, you can see it turns it into 30% opacity. I'm going to hit Command T, which is free transform, and I'm going to hold down my Shift key as I shrink this down, and I'm going to try to line up these eyes a little bit. And we're looking not too bad, getting there. Okay, so there we go. We've got them lined up. We'll turn the opacity back up, and then simply we're going to go to Layer, Add a Layer Mask, and we're going to choose Hide All. And you can see our layer mask is black, but so is our paint. So our foreground color is black. If we hit X on the keyboard or the little arrow here, we can switch those back around. Take your paintbrush. I'm going to increase the size of the brush using my bracket keys, and then I can paint in certain elements. Now, as you're doing this, you can always change the opacity of your brush to get a fading in and out of certain elements. So some things will work, right? The mouth obviously isn't going to work in this case, but that doesn't look too bad. Now obviously this image is going to be tough to do because the woman's image is very much photoshopped. It's kind of over the top actually as far as the touch-ups are concerned, but I'm just going to play around with this and paint in and paint out a little bit just to retain some of these elements. And there we go. So it doesn't have to look totally perfect because it's going to be somewhat weird, and that's kind of a given. And there you have it. So that's what we want you to do with this assignment. We're going to combine a couple images together. So one thing I did forget to mention is that if you're doing this, you got to have images that have the same perspective. So if you've got somebody looking in a certain direction, the other image has to look in the same direction. Otherwise, things aren't going to line up. Easiest way to make sure that this works is to find images that do have that, or use the studio. And that's what it's for. Set up a shot with a couple of people and take them facing the same direction, the same lighting, and the same distance from the camera. And that way you'll ensure that you have images that work well together. You can also combine multiple images, so you don't have to be combining just two. You can combine many if you like. So experiment with it, and we'll see what your switcheroos will look like when you submit them.